Hi everyone, and good morning. This is Dr. Katherine.Kelly, and I just wanted to kind of add to a video that I did yesterday about when someone tries to diminish your soul. And I want to go a little further into that and talk about when someone tries to quiet your voice or take your voice away or take your power away. Really, what they're trying to do is, and maybe not knowingly, but they are actually trying to help you strengthen it. So what do I mean by that? Because if you think about how many times we've tried to speak our truth, tried to speak up, try to assert ourselves, and someone diminishes it or blows it off or whatever it might be, whether it's a family member, a friend, a partner, whomever it might be, really what it's doing from sort of an evolutionary standpoint is it's giving you the opportunity to get really clear with what you believe and what you believe to be true for you. So when your truth is challenged from anyone outside of you, if you can start looking at it as an opportunity to really get within yourself, do that soul searching to say, wait, is this really my truth? My example that I used yesterday was about this marketing group that is telling me not to use the word soul. And although one of the coaches is just saying, forget what the rest are saying and do it anyway, which is beautiful, but he probably gets it a little bit more. But the whole idea of this is understanding that for me yesterday, when I was starting to think about, gosh, when people are diminishing my truth, diminishing my soul, it's that idea of, gosh, it really makes me challenge myself to step into it just enough more to see, is this my truth? What do I really believe? And become stronger in that voice. Now, what you're seeing happen around the world right now is that women in particular are stepping into their voice. They are becoming louder. They're becoming more assertive. The youth are coming out of the woodwork and becoming more assertive and using their voice more about gun control. And so there's so many voices that are needing to be heard, but how many times have they been diminished or dismissed before they've gotten to that point? And it is a strengthening process. It's just like when you go to the gym, you use the muscle for the first time and it hurts like heck the next day or the day after. Do we stop going to the gym? Some of us do. Do we push through it until those muscles don't get sore when we exercise? Absolutely. So it's that whole idea of, you know, exercising your truth, exercising your voice is like a new muscle, that we have to keep using that voice. So it's interesting when I was processing this even more last night with the whole idea of, I woke up at about 2 o'clock in the morning and I was processing this and processing how this relates to some family stuff that I had and to, you know, ex-husband stuff that I had and lots of other things that just kept kind of trickling up to the surface. And what I realized is that it's all the same thing. It's all about learning to use your voice, learning to stand in your truth. And if someone else doesn't like it, well, you know, tough patooties, because if it's not their truth, that's fine. But it is your truth. And it's such a strengthening process when someone tries to challenge that. So I want you to really think about how many times has your voice been diminished and how has it been diminished and how did you come out of that? Did you push further or did you fall back? You know, for those of you who had Psych 101 in undergrad, it kind of displays the whole idea of the fight or flight process. And so when someone diminishes your truth, are you going to flight, meaning, you know, get the heck out of here, or are you going to fight and get in there, get into the process of really digging into who you are, what your truth is, and move forward? As part of our soul's evolution, as I keep talking about, is that the more we align with ourselves, the greater we feel as people, the better we feel, the more radiant we feel, the more alive we feel. But when someone diminishes our truth, it gets us off track. It misaligns our soul, misaligns our human condition with our soul to the point where it can pull us off track. It can make us depressed. It can make us anxious. It can isolate us. There's all kinds of things that being off of our truth can do to us. But when we get on our truth, when we really listen to that soul truth, it pushes us forward. So it's really interesting. I have to share the story because it was kind of funny yesterday. I had a client come in who was having a very tough time with something she's working through. And in the middle of this session, she just stops and she says, you know, Dr. Kelly, you're like my soul mama. You are healing me in a way that I've never had the chance to before. And I just kind of started laughing, and it almost brought tears to my eyes, and I told her that, and because of everything else that I'm kind of processing through right now. So if I'm her soul mama, this soul stuff is working to some extent, and it's a process of affirmation, but also to think about where people are in their truth process. Is really where all of us are in our truth process. There's so much happening in this world that is making us question who we are, and it's a beautiful thing and it's an ugly thing at the same time. So just remember that whenever someone challenges your voice or your truth or your power, it's actually an opportunity for you to step further into it to figure out who you really are and step into that whole truth of who your soul is as well. So just some more words for thought. I hope you have a great day. Go to www.Dr.KatherineT.Kelly.com for more information, and keep up the good work. Being in your truth is a big thing, and it's hard for a lot of people. Have a great day.